Hey love, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey babe. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my true cost of me trying to purchase a home in Barbados. If you haven't watched part 1 of my attempt to purchase a home in Barbados, definitely check out that video. It's going to be linked in the cards and it's also being in the comments down below. Now, what I could have spent, but what also the bank required of me, and also what I choose to spend, and why I only ended up spending $250 in the end of over like a 6 to 7 month process of trying to buy a home. If you're thinking of buying a home overseas, especially in the Caribbean, I hope this video saves you some time and money and unnecessary stress that I kind of had to went through. So let's start with the bank approval. I was approved for $165 USD thousand. Y'all, I'm really bad at saying numbers, but it's gonna be on the screen. That was pretty much the value of the loan that I needed to purchase the home. The property was like 330,000 Barbados dollars, which is that conversion. So that's why my loan amount was that little. I was approved for 4 more based on how much I make and my job and everything like that. So, but I only need to take out 65K USD. The bank required me to put down the 10% down, which was 18,500 USD. And they provided me a legal quote of 7,500 USD of how much it would take for their lawyer to kind of pretty much do everything needed to get the home finalized and in my name. Plus, I had to put a 5,100 deposit for the property. I forgot how they calculated that, but I pretty much had to put a $5,100 deposit down. Now, the only fee that I actually paid for was the property evaluation. That was $250 US, and it was a requirement for the bank while I was going through the process that needed to be done, so that they could pretty much loan me the money. The only other requirement from the bank was that I pay off my car, which was $8,000 US. That was something that the required me to be approved of, and then I personally chose to pay off my credit card, which is $4,700. Even though it wasn't a requirement, I just wanted the balance not hanging over me. I didn't have to provide them with the update that it was paid off, but you know, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna do it because I need to. So the only debt that I had remaining was my student loan, which was 25,000 USD. But because it was in forbearance, it didn't really count against me. They knew that I wasn't making any payments on it. They really didn't care about it. But I do felt like if it was not in forbearance, I would have been required to do something with that amount of $25,000. So here's what I actually spent. Honestly, just the $250 for the property evaluation. That's it. The lawyer quoted me from the bank, which was $7,500. But after major delays, communication issues, she honestly waived it, and honestly, I felt like that was appropriate. Eventually, I had to withdraw my offer, and the seller hadn't submitted all the documents, and the timeline kept stretching out. So it honestly, I don't know what I would have ended up paying for the lawyer fee if I did go through with the entire process, because like I said, that was a quote. So here's what I learned. Have everything in writing. If the seller doesn't submit their required documents by a certain time frame, they need to cover your lawyer costs, period. Like literally, I learned that the hard way. Confirm that all documents are on island before making an offer, and again, make sure that that's in writing. And then estimate your fees early. So when you're talking with the bank, or even if you're doing like a little contract with them, your lawyer, your appraisal taxes, anything. Like, do all of your estimates to make sure that you don't get any surprises. Because when I was going through the process, I learned the quote that I received, how much the HOA was going to be, was different from what the actual fee was. And I kind of started receiving the documents when I was going through the process from the bank. And like I said, like, I'm starting to see fees creep up that I really didn't know about. And when I started to read the real documents, I'm like, oh, this isn't what you quote me. And lastly, just because you can afford the down payment doesn't mean the deal is worth it. Like, even though you can afford everything, just think about the long term of everything. For me, I was like, oh, I could afford this. But think about even after, when you're all said and done with, you know, your property and you paid it off, like, do you want to still be paying an HOA fee of an X amount? Or do you just want to do something additional? Like, you know, could you save money somewhere else by living somewhere else that didn't have as high as a HOA fee? Just kind of think back to those kind of things and how much money you have to put into the property for advancements and stuff like that. And I forgot to mention, don't purchase anything until you get your keys in hand. So for me, I purchased a Nest. I purchased a ring lights for outside the door. I purchased like the little keypad. Not saying that it's money waste, but I definitely do regret purchasing it, because like I said, I'm now back at square one, trying to find a property. So I definitely wish that I would have probably waited until I signed, sealed, keys delivered, even though I probably wouldn't have been able to go down for a long period of time when the house was finished. It would have saved me a lot of money. In the long run, I just think that this property wasn't meant for me. Deep down inside, I kind of knew that when I started getting information later on as I'm going through the process, and I was just trying to make the number work. And I was honestly ignoring the red flags, and honestly, I don't regret it, because like I said, it was a learning experience. I hope this gives you some real insights into what it's actually like trying to purchase a home in Barbados. I know not everyone's experience is like this. And I hope that your experience is a little bit better. And honestly, the paperwork, the payments, the peace of mind, you'll need to protect yourself. You need to do that. If you're in your growing era like me, international, align here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.